I'm staring at my phone like it just grew teeth and bit me. My daughter, my Emma, in a wedding dress, white silk professional photographer, the whole fairy tale package. And there, standing where I should be, are two strangers with proud smiles plastered across their faces, her in-laws. I scroll down. The comments are flowing like wine at a reception I wasn't invited to. Congratulations. Beautiful bride. So happy for you both. Every message, every emoji, every heart-shaped reaction feels like a nail driven just a little deeper into the coffin of whatever connection we used to have. Posted 6 hours ago. 6 hours since my daughter became someone else's problem. 6 hours since the rest of the world celebrated a moment that was supposed to be mine to witness. I set the phone down carefully on my kitchen counter, the same counter where Emma used to do her homework while I made dinner. The same counter where she'd cry about a failed test or a bad breakup, where I'd tell her everything would work out if she just kept her head straight and her standards high. She'd laugh and roll her eyes, calling me old-fashioned, but she'd always stay long enough to finish the meal. It's strange, realizing that those nights were the last time we were truly family, though I didn't know it then. Well, I say to the empty apartment, that's efficient. My voice sounds foreign, flat, almost mechanical. I half expect someone to answer, to tell me it's a bad dream, to remind me that people make mistakes and maybe there's a reasonable explanation. But the silence stretches on, thick and heavy, until it feels like the walls themselves are judging me. My hands aren't shaking. They should be, but they're steady as concrete. 40 years of corporate negotiations taught me something useful. Never let them see you bleed, even when you're alone, especially when you're alone, because the bleeding becomes a habit. Once you start indulging in pain, it takes up residence. I pick up the phone again and scroll through more photos. There's my son David in the background of one shot, champagne glass raised, grinning like he won the lottery. So he knew too. Of course he knew. He's always known everything first. Always been Emma's confidant, her partner in crime. The golden boy. The one who could do no wrong. My wife used to say I was too hard on him, that I expected too much. Maybe she was right. Maybe I just expected the truth. But honesty seems to be in short supply in this family. The apartment suddenly feels smaller. 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, downtown location, my name on the deed. I'd bought it, thinking about grandchildren staying over, about holiday dinners, about being the center of something that mattered. Funny how fast a man can become irrelevant. It's not even that they didn't invite me, it's that they didn't think of me at all. That's what stings. Not rejection, but omission. Rejection means you mattered enough to be dismissed. Omission means you were never in the equation. I open my laptop and start typing. Real estate agent, I know a good one, used him twice before. Within 20 minutes, I've got an appointment scheduled for tomorrow morning. By tomorrow afternoon, this place will be listed. By next week, if I'm lucky and the market holds, I'll have a check and a storage unit full of furniture that nobody wants. The decision comes too easily, like I'd been waiting for an excuse to dismantle my life piece by piece. Maybe I was. Maybe all this time I've been building something that never really existed. My phone buzzes. Text message from David. Dad, we need to talk about your apartment. Not Dad, sorry you weren't invited. Not Dad, let me explain. Just straight to business, straight to what he wants. I can almost hear his tone, calm, managerial, detached. He's become a reflection of me, though I doubt he'd ever admit it. I smile. It's not a nice smile. Sure, I type back, let's talk at your wedding. When is it again? 3 dots appear, disappear, appear again. Then nothing. The silence from that tiny screen feels heavier than any argument we ever had. I pour myself 2 fingers of scotch and sit by the window. The city lights blink below like surveillance cameras, watching everything, recording nothing that matters. Tomorrow, I'll start moving. Not just furniture, not just assets. I'll start moving pieces on a board that my children don't even know they're playing on. They think I'm old, predictable, out of touch. They've mistaken withdrawal for surrender. That's their first mistake. They want the apartment. They can have it, along with everything else that comes with cutting me out of their lives. I take a sip and let the burn travel down my throat. It clears my head, sharpens my focus. I've built companies from nothing. I've taken apart corporate structures and rebuilt them stronger. And I've always known one fundamental truth. People who think they've won are people who've stopped watching their backs. Emma and David have no idea what's coming, but they will. The night stretches long and sleepless. I don't even bother turning on the TV. The quiet has a pulse now, a steady rhythm that keeps me company. My mind drifts to the early years. Emma's first dance recital, David's first soccer game, the smell of my wife's cooking drifting through the house, like a promise that everything would stay the same forever. I can still see Emma standing on the stage in her pink tutu, eyes searching the crowd until she found me. That smile, pure, proud, radiant. She used to look at me like I was the center of her world. I used to believe that was permanent. I didn't realize that childhood love comes with an expiration date. Maybe I was too rigid. Maybe I spent too many years chasing numbers and promotions, convincing myself I was doing it for them. Every late night at the office, every missed dinner, every cancelled vacation, all of it justified by the future I was supposedly securing. But the future arrived, and it didn't include me. Turns out, all that success brought me was distance. I built an empire at work and a void at home. I swirl the glass in my hand, watching the amber liquid catch the light. The city outside hums, a living, breathing organism that doesn't care about broken families or forgotten fathers. I used to love this view. Now it feels like a reminder of everything temporary. Towers rise and fall, lights flicker, burn out, are replaced. People move on, and the world keeps spinning as if nothing happened. I take another drink and think about what happens next. I'm not impulsive. I never have been. Every move I make is deliberate, calculated, precise. And right now, I'm calculating the cost of disappearing. There's power in absence. People only realize what you meant to them when you're no longer available. Let them sell their happiness for likes and congratulations. Let them smile for the cameras while I quietly rewrite the story they think they're living. I don't need revenge, not in the dramatic sense. What I need is correction, a rebalancing of the scales. They took something from me, and the world has a way of evening debts. I stand and walk through the apartment, every step echoing slightly against the hardwood. The place is immaculate, as always, not a cushion out of place, not a dish in the sink. Emma used to joke that my house looked like a museum. No one actually lives here, Dad. Maybe she was right. Maybe I stopped living the day her mother left. Cancer took her fast, too fast for me to process. I remember sitting by the hospital bed, her hand in mine, her voice faint but clear when she said, "Don't push them away." I promised I wouldn't. I broke that promise. Not deliberately, but through habit, through pride, through thinking that love was something that could be earned through stability instead of presence. The memories blur into the hum of the city. I catch my reflection in the glass. Grey hair, sharp suit, eyes too tired to be angry. The kind of man who wins on paper but loses in every way that counts. And yet, beneath the exhaustion, there's something else. Resolve. I've survived boardroom betrayals, market crashes, and personal failures. I can survive this too. More than that, I can turn it to my advantage. People forget that loss, when harnessed correctly, is fuel. By the time dawn leaks into the sky, I've drafted an email to my financial advisor. I'm liquidating certain assets, moving others offshore. It's not about hiding money. It's about repositioning power. My children think inheritance is inevitable. They assume the flow of wealth will continue uninterrupted, as it always has. But nothing about what's coming will be uninterrupted. I've spent my life teaching people lessons they didn't know they needed. It's time my children learned theirs. At 9 sharp, the real estate agent calls. Bright voice, efficient tone, eager to please. She doesn't ask why I'm selling. She just wants to know the square footage and whether I'd consider staging. I tell her no. What you see is what you get. She schedules the photographer for Thursday, promises a premium listing, talks about market demand like it's a religion. I hang up and start making lists. What to keep, what to sell, what to give away. The act of sorting becomes therapeutic. Every drawer I empty feels like shedding a layer of history. By noon, the apartment looks less like a home and more like a memory in transition. Boxes stack along the walls, labeled in thick black marker, office, photos, clothing, documents. I find Emma's old drawings in one of them, a crayon portrait of our family, stick figures holding hands under a crooked sun. She must have been 6. I trace the faded paper with my thumb before folding it gently and tucking it into a separate pile. Some things you don't destroy. You just put them away until you're ready to look again. That night, David calls. Not a text this time, a call. I stare at the screen for a long moment before answering. His voice is cautious, rehearsed. Dad, look, I know you saw the photos. It was all really sudden. They wanted something small. Small, I interrupt. Looked like a damn production. He sighs, and for a second, I hear the boy he used to be. The one who'd call me from college, asking for advice about everything from internships to relationships. We didn't think you'd want to come, he says. That stops me cold. Didn't think I'd want to come. My voice is quiet, too quiet. David, I would have walked through fire to see my daughter get married. Silence, then softer. I know, I'm sorry, Dad. Sorry. The most meaningless word in the English language. We talk a few more minutes, polite, hollow sentences exchanged like currency between strangers. When I hang up, I don't feel anger anymore. Just clarity. They've already rewritten their version of the story. In their minds, I'm the absentee father, the man too consumed by his work to notice his family slipping away. Let them have that version. It's easier for them to live with. But truth, real truth, doesn't vanish. It waits. And one day, when they need me, when they reach for the safety net they've always assumed would be there, they'll find nothing but air. Outside, the city hums on, oblivious. Somewhere, music drifts up from a street performer, an old jazz tune, soft and melancholy. I finish my drink, lean back, and let the sound fill the room. Tomorrow will come, like it always does, and when it does, I'll be ready. Ready to sell, to move, to start over. To build something new, not for them, but for myself. They think they've closed the chapter on me. They forget who wrote the book. Before we go any further, hit the hype button, take a second to subscribe, and like the video. It really helps the channel grow. And tell us in the comments, what would you do in this situation? David's wedding is at the Riverside Hotel, naturally. Nothing but the best for my son who hasn't paid his own rent in 5 years. I arrive exactly 12 minutes late, just enough to make an entrance, not enough to cause a scene. Yet. The lobby is full of people I don't recognize. David's friends, his wife's family, a collection of 20-somethings in designer suits who probably think a hard day's work means a difficult brunch reservation. I spot Emma near the reception desk, talking with a woman in an aggressively purple dress. She sees me. Her face goes white. Dad. She starts walking over, but I'm already moving past her, heading for the reception hall. Let her chase me for once. The ceremony just ended. People are filing into the dining area, champagne glasses already in hand. I grab one from a passing waiter and position myself near the main entrance. David will have to walk past me to get to the head table. Patience is a weapon most people forget to load. He appears 5 minutes later, his new wife on his arm. She's pretty in that generic catalogue way, blonde and polished, and probably has an Instagram account with more followers than brain cells. She spots me first, leans in to whisper something to David. His jaw tightens. "Dad." He walks over, leaving his wife hovering nervously behind him. "I didn't think you'd come." "Wouldn't miss it," I say, though I notice the invitation must have gotten lost in the mail. "We can talk about this later. We're talking about it now." His wife steps forward. Jessica, that's her name. I'd remembered from David's rare phone calls, the ones where he'd mention her between requests for money. "Mr. Patterson," she says, her voice sweet enough to cause diabetes. "This is David's special day. Can we please not do this here?" "Do what?" I take a sip of champagne. "I'm just here to celebrate my son's marriage, the one he told me about." I pause. "Oh, wait, he didn't." "Dad, please." "Tell me something, David. When exactly were you planning to mention this? When you needed me to co-sign a mortgage? When you wanted to borrow money for the honeymoon?" Jessica's sweet expression cracks slightly. "We don't need anything from you." "Really?" I look at David. "So you paid for this wedding yourself? All of it?" He doesn't answer. That's what I thought. I set down my champagne glass. "But don't worry, I'm not here to make trouble. I'm here to tell you something important." "What?" David's voice has an edge now. "The apartment you texted me about, the one you wanted to talk about." I smile. "It's sold. Closing is Tuesday. Thought you should know." Jessica's face flushes. "You sold it? That was supposed to be ours." "Was it?" I look at her with genuine curiosity. "Strange. I don't remember putting your name on the deed, or discussing it with you, or even meeting you before today." "You selfish—" She stops herself, but barely. David grabs her arm. "Jess, don't." But she's already moving, already closing the distance between us. I see it coming before it happens, read it in the tensing of her shoulders, the bunching of her hand. She slaps me. The sound echoes through the reception hall like a gunshot. Conversations stop, heads turn, someone gasps. I don't move, don't flinch, just stand there and let the moment crystallize. Let every person in this room see exactly what kind of woman my son married. "Feel better?" I ask quietly. Her hand is shaking now, her face red with either embarrassment or rage. You can't just take things away because you're angry. I didn't take anything away. I sold my property, my name, my deed, my decision. I look at David. "Though I am curious, when were you planning to tell me you expected to inherit it while I'm still alive?" He has the decency to look away. I pull out my phone, dial a number I'd programmed in this morning. "Yeah, it's me. You can come in now." "Who are you calling?" Jessica demands. The side door opens. A man in a grey suit walks in, surveying the room with the practiced efficiency of someone used to making entrances. He's 50, built like he spends his afternoons in a gym, and carries himself with the kind of casual authority that makes people nervous. He's also my attorney. "Frank," I say. "Thanks for coming." Frank nods, hands me a folder. "Everything's here, signed and notarized." I open the folder, pull out the documents. "David, Jessica, this is Frank Morrison. He's going to explain some things to you. Specifically, he's going to explain why the wedding fund you've been expecting from your mother's trust, that's gone too." David's face goes pale. "What?" "Your mother left that money in a trust with specific conditions. One of them was maintaining family relationships. You failed to meet that condition." I hand the folder to Frank. "Frank will explain the details. I'm sure you'll want to contest it. That's your right. It'll cost you about $50,000 in legal fees and take 2 years, and you'll lose because the trust is ironclad." I start walking toward the exit. Emma appears, blocking my path. "Dad, please, we can fix this." "Fix what, Emma? The wedding you had without me? The brother who saw me as an ATM? Or maybe you mean the daughter-in-law who just assaulted me in front of 200 witnesses?" I wanted to tell you, but you didn't. I step around her. That's the only part that matters. I'm almost to the door when Jessica screams behind me. You can't do this, we'll sue you, we'll... I turn back one last time. Sue me for what? For managing my own assets? For choosing not to fund entitled children who don't return phone calls? I look around the room. Everyone here just watched her assault me. I have 200 witnesses, so please hire a lawyer. I look forward to the lawsuit. The silence is absolute. I walk out. Frank catches up with me in the parking lot. That was dramatic, he says. That was necessary. I unlock my car. Did you file everything? This morning. The trust is locked down. They'd need to prove reconciliation and sustained contact for at least 18 months before any disbursement could resume. Good. Frank leans against my car. You know they're going to come after you, right? Not legally. They can't. But personally. I'm counting on it. He raises an eyebrow. You want them to retaliate? I want them to reveal themselves. Right now, they still think they're the victims. They'll complain to their friends, post on social media, paint me as the villain. And with every complaint, every post, every tearful conversation, they'll expose their entitlement for everyone to see. Frank shakes his head. You always were a ruthless strategist. That's why you won so many hostile takeovers. This isn't a takeover. This is a divestment. I climb into my car. And if they escalate, I start the engine. Then I escalate back. The next 3 days are predictable. Emma calls 14 times. I don't answer. David sends a series of increasingly desperate texts. I don't respond. Jessica posts a long Facebook rant about abusive parents and family betrayal. I screenshot it and send it to my lawyer. Evidence. Always gather evidence. On Thursday, I meet with Thomas Reed at a coffee shop downtown. Thomas used to work for me, back when I ran Patterson Industries. He's 40, sharp as broken glass, and has a talent for finding information that people don't want found. You were right, he says, sliding a folder across the table. Emma's been married for 6 months. Husband's name is Ryan Pierce. He's a derivatives trader, makes decent money, has a gambling problem. How decent? $200,000 a year. Most of it goes to online poker sites. I flip through the documents. Bank statements, credit card records, photographs. How'd you get this? Ryan's not careful, uses the same password for everything, posts his location on Instagram. Thomas taps one of the photos. That's from 3 weeks ago, Atlantic City. Emma knows about the gambling. She knows he plays poker. Whether she knows about the $60,000 in losses from last month? Thomas shrugs. Hard to say. I close the folder. What about David? Thomas pulls out a second folder, thicker than the first. David and Jessica are living above their means, way above. They've got a lease on a BMW, a luxury apartment they can't actually afford, credit card debt pushing $40,000. How are they making rent? Jessica's parents, they've been covering the shortfall for 8 months. Thomas grins. But here's the interesting part. Her parents don't know about the credit card debt. They think their daughter and son-in-law are financially responsible adults. But they're not. They're hemorrhaging money. The wedding alone cost $70,000. They paid half, her parents paid half, and they were counting on your trust fund to cover the shortfall. I lean back. So they're desperate. They're broke and desperate. Dangerous combination. Perfect combination, I correct. Desperate people make mistakes. They overreach. They expose themselves. Thomas studies me. You're not just divesting, you're setting them up. I'm giving them rope. Whether they hang themselves with it is their choice. We finish our coffee. Thomas leaves first. I sit for another 10 minutes, watching people walk past the window. Young people, old people, people in suits and people in jeans. All of them with their own problems, their own betrayals, their own quiet desperations. My phone buzzes. Text from an unknown number. Dad, it's Emma. New phone. Can we please talk? I'm at your apartment building. I type back. I don't live there anymore. 3 dots. Then, where are you? I don't respond. Let her wonder. Let her worry. Let her feel what it's like to be on the outside looking in. Friday night, I attend a charity gala at the Merchants Exchange building. Black tie, $500 a plate, old money everywhere. I've been coming to this event for 20 years. I know half the room. Emma and Ryan are here too. I spot them near the bar. Emma in a silver dress that probably cost 3 months of her husband's gambling losses. Ryan looks nervous, checking his phone every 30 seconds, probably tracking his online poker game. I make my rounds, saying hello to people I've done business with, people who remember when I was someone important. Most of them have heard about the wedding situation, small circles, big gossip. Terrible thing, Margaret Chen says. She's 70, runs a pharmaceutical company, has a son who stole $50,000 from her last year. Children today have no gratitude. They have expectations, I say. Gratitude requires humility. You're handling it well. I'm handling it deliberately. Margaret smiles. I saw your daughter's Facebook post, the one where she claimed you're cutting her off for no reason. She's welcome to her version of events. Of course, but I also saw the photos from her secret wedding, and I saw the comments from her friends talking about how relieved they are that she finally doesn't have to deal with your controlling behavior. Margaret sips her wine. Funny how controlling parents are the ones who get excluded from major life events. This is why I like Margaret. She understands how social warfare works. Emma spots me across the room. She says something to Ryan, then starts walking over. I excuse myself from Margaret and move toward the balcony, forcing Emma to follow me outside. The balcony overlooks the city. It's cold, early October wind cutting through expensive clothing. Emma wraps her arms around herself. You're ignoring my calls, she says. I'm not obligated to answer. I'm your daughter. You were my daughter at your wedding too. Didn't seem to matter then. She flinches. I wanted to tell you. Ryan. I turn to face her. Tell me about Ryan's gambling problem. Her face goes white. What? Online poker. 60,000 in losses last month alone. Does he think he's going to win it back? Is that the plan? How do you know? I know lots of things, Emma. I know you've been married for 6 months. I know Ryan's deep in debt. I know you were hoping my apartment would give you a safety net. I step closer. What I don't know is why you thought lying to me was the solution. I didn't lie. I just didn't tell you. Same thing. It's not. I was going to tell you. I just needed the right time. And Ryan said his family should be there first, and you chose him over me. She's crying now. That's not fair. Fair? I laugh, short and bitter. Emma, you posted photos on Facebook. You invited your friends. You had your mother-in-law walk you down the aisle. But telling your father, that wasn't on the list. I'm sorry. Sorry doesn't rebuild trust. Sorry doesn't undo 6 months of lies. Ryan appears in the doorway. Emma, everything okay? I look at him. Ryan, enjoying the gala. Yeah, it's nice. He's sweating despite the cold. Big poker game tonight. His face drains. I don't know what... Sure you do. 7-card stud. Online room. You've been checking your phone every 5 minutes. I walk past him, back inside. Good luck. I hope you win. God knows you need to. I leave them on the balcony. Back inside, I find Margaret again. The documents you asked about. Already filed, she says quietly. Tomorrow morning, Pierce Trading will receive notice that their compliance review has been escalated. Should keep Ryan busy for a few weeks. You're a gem, Margaret. I'm a woman who hates entitled children. It's therapeutic. I mingle for another hour. Make small talk. Laugh at appropriate moments. And all the while, I watch Emma and Ryan trying to recover, trying to maintain their facade, trying to pretend everything is fine. It's not fine, and by Monday, it'll be worse. David shows up at my new apartment Sunday morning. I'm not sure how he found the address. I'm not sure I care. We need to talk, he says when I open the door. No, we don't. Dad, please, just 5 minutes. I should close the door, but curiosity wins. 5 minutes. We sit in my living room. I haven't finished unpacking. Boxes everywhere, furniture in wrong places, nothing on the walls. It looks temporary because it is. Jessica's sorry about the slap, David starts. Is she? She was upset. We both were. The apartment was supposed to... Supposed to what? Be handed to you? Why? He struggles with the answer. I'm your son. And? And you're supposed to help me. I did help you. For 30 years I helped you. Fed you, clothed you, paid for your education, gave you money whenever you asked. What I didn't do was promise you an apartment. Mom would have wanted... Don't. My voice turns sharp. Don't use your mother as leverage. Your mother died 8 years ago. She left a trust with conditions. You failed those conditions. Because I didn't invite you to my wedding. Because you stopped seeing me as your father and started seeing me as a resource. Because you called me twice in the last year, both times asking for money. Because when I had a health scare last spring, you didn't visit, didn't call, didn't even send a card. He looks away. I was busy. So was I. Busy raising you. Funny how that worked out. He stands up. You're being petty. I'm being honest. There's a difference. Jessica thinks you're jealous. Of what? Of our happiness. Of our marriage. She thinks you can't stand that we don't need you anymore. I smile. It's not a kind smile. David, if you didn't need me, you wouldn't be here. You'd be living your life, being happy, not caring about an old man's apartment. I stand too. But you are here. Because you're broke. Because Jessica's parents are covering your rent. Because you're drowning and you thought I'd throw you a lifeline. His jaw clenches. You're really going to cut us off? Completely? I already did. Tuesday, when I sold the apartment. You just didn't notice until it affected you. He walks to the door, stops. Emma says you're investigating Ryan. Emma's observant. That's crossing a line. What line? The one you crossed when you excluded me from your life? Or the one Jessica crossed when she assaulted me? She barely touched you. She struck me in front of 200 witnesses. That's assault. The fact that it wasn't a hard slap doesn't change the legal definition. He opens the door. You're going to regret this. Possibly, but not today. He leaves. I close the door, lean against it. My heart's pounding harder than I want to admit. This isn't easy, this isn't fun, but it's necessary. You don't rebuild something without first tearing down what's broken. Monday morning, I meet Thomas at his office. Ryan's in trouble, Thomas says. His company's compliance department is crawling up his ass. They found irregularities in some trades, nothing criminal, but enough to trigger an investigation. How long will that take? Could be weeks, could be months. But here's the kicker. During the investigation, he's suspended without pay. I lean back. Emma, no. Not yet. Ryan's been hiding it. Told her he's taking vacation days. How'd you find out? Thomas grins. I have friends in compliance departments. Plural. And David. David and Jessica had a fight last night. Neighbors heard it. Something about money. About your apartment. About Jessica's parents finding out about the credit cards. They're cracking. They're imploding. Thomas pulls out another folder. But here's where it gets interesting. Jessica called her parents yesterday. Told them David's father is mentally unstable, cutting them off for no reason, being emotionally abusive. She's running a smear campaign. She's trying to. Problem is, her parents know you. Her father played golf with you 3 times. He's not buying it. What's he doing instead? Asking questions about their finances, about the wedding costs, about the credit cards Jessica claimed she'd paid off. I take the folder, skim through it. Bank statements, credit reports, recorded phone calls. You're thorough. You pay me to be thorough. Keep watching them. I want to know every move, every conversation, every mistake. You're not worried this is going too far? They started this when they decided I was disposable. I'm just showing them the consequences. Thomas nods slowly. You know, most people would try to reconcile. Most people haven't been erased from their children's lives. I stand. This isn't about punishment. It's about clarity. They need to see exactly who they are and what they've done. Sometimes the only way to teach that lesson is to remove the safety net. And if they fall, then they fall. Everyone does eventually. Question is whether they learn to catch themselves. I leave Thomas's office and head downtown. There's a coffee shop 3 blocks away where I sometimes sit and watch people. Today, I see them, David and Jessica, sitting at a corner table, arguing. I don't go inside, just watch through the window. Jessica's crying. David's face is red, his hands gesturing sharply. A public argument, the kind that makes other customers uncomfortable, the kind that reveals everything you're trying to hide. My phone buzzes. Text from Emma. Dad, please call me, it's important. I don't respond. Not yet. Let her worry. Let her wonder. Let her feel what it's like when the person you need doesn't answer. Wednesday afternoon, Emma shows up at my apartment. I'm not home. I'm at the gym, running on a treadmill, trying to outpace thoughts that won't quit. She leaves a note taped to my door. Dad, we need to talk. I know you're angry. I know I hurt you. But please, I need your help. Ryan's in trouble. Call me. I crumple the note and throw it away. Thursday morning, Jessica's parents show up at David's apartment. Thomas texts me the details an hour later. Big confrontation. Jessica's father found the credit card statements. They're not happy. Friday night, I attend another charity event. This one's smaller, more intimate. 50 people, all connected to the business community. Emma and Ryan aren't here. David and Jessica are. They spot me immediately. Jessica starts to walk over, but David stops her. They have a brief, tense conversation. Then David comes alone. Dad, we need to talk. You said that already, several times. I mean it. Jessica's sorry. I'm sorry. We made mistakes. Yes, you did. Can we fix this? What's broken, David? Be specific. He struggles. Our relationship. What relationship? We don't talk. We don't see each other. You don't return calls. When's the last time you asked me how I'm doing? Silence. That's what I thought. I start to walk away. Jessica's pregnant. I stop. Turn slowly. Excuse me. She's pregnant. 8 weeks. We just found out. For a moment, just a moment, I feel something crack inside my chest. A grandchild. My first grandchild. Then I remember the slap. The exclusion. The lies. Congratulations, I say flatly. That's it? That's all you have to say? What do you want me to say, David? That this changes everything? That I'll forget the last year because you're having a baby? I want you to act like a father. I did act like a father. For 30 years I acted like a father. You're the one who decided I was irrelevant. I step closer. Having a child doesn't erase what you've done. It just means you're going to be responsible for someone else. Maybe that'll teach you something. His face goes red. You're a selfish, bitter old man. Maybe. But I'm a selfish, bitter old man who knows his worth. You should try figuring out yours. I walk away. Behind me, I hear Jessica asking what happened, hear David's angry response. I don't look back. Outside, the air's cold enough to hurt. I stand on the sidewalk, breathing hard, trying to process what just happened. A grandchild. My first grandchild, and I'm going to miss it all. The pregnancy, the birth, the first years. Because my son chose a woman who hits people when she's angry, and because I refuse to pretend that's acceptable. My phone buzzes. Text from Emma. Dad, please. Ryan lost his job. We need help. Another text, this one from David. You're going to regret this. Jessica's parents are lawyers. They're looking into elder abuse. I laugh. Actually laugh, standing there on the sidewalk like a crazy person. Elder abuse. because I won't give them money, because I sold my own property, because I have the audacity to make my own decisions. I text back to David, tell them to call Frank Morrison, he'll explain defamation law, and bring up the 200 witnesses who watched your wife assault me. Then I turn off my phone. The next 2 weeks are chaos. Ryan's suspension becomes permanent termination. Something about unauthorized trading, about breaking compliance protocols. Emma calls me 17 times. I don't answer. David and Jessica move in with Jessica's parents. Thomas sends me photos of them loading boxes into a U-Haul truck, Jessica crying, David looking like he's aged 10 years. Emma sells her wedding ring. I know because she posts about it on Facebook, a long emotional message about sacrifice and love and making hard choices. The comments are sympathetic. You're so brave. Hang in there. Family should support you. Nobody asks why her father won't help, or if they do, she doesn't answer publicly. Margaret calls me Tuesday afternoon. Emma contacted me, asked if I could help Ryan find a job. What did you tell her? I told her I'd think about it. Then I made some calls. Ryan's reputation is damaged. No major firm will touch him. Good. Good. Margaret sounds surprised. He's your son-in-law. He's a liar and a gambler who helped my daughter hide her marriage from me. I'm not inclined to save his career. You're playing hardball. I'm playing truth. They created this situation. They get to live with the consequences. Wednesday morning, Frank calls. Jessica's parents filed a complaint with Adult Protective Services, claiming you're being financially abused or mentally incompetent. Let me guess. They want conservatorship. They want access to your assets to ensure you're being properly cared for. I laugh. I'm 55 years old, physically healthy, and managing a successful investment portfolio. Good luck with that complaint. APS still has to investigate. They'll want to interview you. Fine, set it up. I'll show them my bank statements, my medical records, and my tax returns. Then, I'll show them the photos from the wedding where Jessica assaulted me. You're enjoying this, Frank says. I'm clarifying things. There's a difference. The APS investigator comes Thursday. Her name is Rita. She's 40, and she looks tired. She sits in my living room, reviewing documents, asking questions. Your son claims you're acting erratically. Define erratically. Selling property suddenly, cutting off family members, refusing contact. I sold property that was mine to sell. I reduced contact with people who excluded me from major life events. Nothing erratic about that. She makes notes. Your daughter says you're investigating her husband. I did a background check when I found out she'd married someone I'd never met. That's prudent, not erratic. More notes. Your son's wife says you're emotionally abusive. Your son's wife assaulted me at his wedding. I have 200 witnesses. Would you like their names? Rita looks up. She hit you. Slapped me, in front of everyone. I chose not to press charges. Apparently, that makes me abusive. She closes her notebook. Mr. Patterson, I've seen actual elder abuse. This isn't it. This is a family dispute over money. I know. The complaint will be closed by end of week, but for what it's worth. She stands. Your kids sound entitled. They are. I'm trying to fix that. After Rita leaves, I sit in silence for a while. The apartment's coming together finally. Furniture in place, pictures on walls, everything organized. It looks lived in. It looks like home. My phone rings. Unknown number. I answer. Dad? Emma's voice, small and scared. Ryan's in the hospital. My stomach drops. What happened? He overdosed. Pills and alcohol. They're pumping his stomach now. For a moment, everything stops. The anger, the revenge, the careful planning. All of it disappears, and I'm just a father, hearing that someone's in pain. Where are you? Memorial Hospital. Dad, I'm scared. I'm coming. I grab my keys and drive. Memorial's 20 minutes away. I make it in 12. Emma's in the waiting room, alone. Her face is red from crying. When she sees me, she breaks down completely. Because of the job, because of the money, because everything's falling apart. I hold her. Just hold her. Let her cry, don't say anything. A doctor comes out 15 minutes later. Ryan's stable. He'll live. They want to keep him for psychiatric evaluation. Can I see him? Emma asks. Family only right now. I'm his wife. The doctor looks at me. And you are? Her father. He nods. She can go back. Sir, you'll need to wait here. Emma disappears through double doors. I sit in the waiting room, surrounded by other people with other emergencies, other crises. My phone buzzes. Text from David. Heard about Ryan. Are you happy now? I stare at the message, read it 3 times, try to find some way to respond that isn't anger or hurt or bitter satisfaction. I type, your sister's at Memorial. She needs family. Grow up and be there for her. Then I turn off my phone again. An hour later, Emma comes back. She looks exhausted. He's okay. They're keeping him overnight. Good. Dad, I'm sorry for all of this, for the wedding, for lying, for everything. I know. Can we fix this? Yes, I say, but not tonight. Tonight you need to focus on Ryan. Will you stay? For a while. We sit together in silence. Other families come and go. Emergencies resolve or worsen. Life continues. Around midnight, I leave. Emma's calmer now. Ryan's parents are coming. She'll have support. In the parking lot, I check my phone. 3 missed calls from David. 1 voicemail. I listen to it. Dad, Jessica's in labor. We're at Mercy Hospital. I know you're mad. I know we screwed up. But please. This is your grandchild. Please come. I look at the timestamp. 2 hours ago. I get in my car and drive. Mercy Hospital is across town. 40-minute drive, middle of the night, empty roads. I make it in 30. The maternity ward is quiet. A nurse at the desk looks up. I'm here for Jessica Patterson. Relation? Father-in-law. She checks her computer. Room 312, but she's in delivery. You'll need to wait. I find the waiting area. David's there, pacing. When he sees me, he stops. You came. I came. We don't hug. Don't shake hands. Just stand there, 6 feet apart, 2 men who used to be closer. How is she? I ask. Scared. It's early, 7 weeks early. My stomach clenches. That's dangerous. I know. He sits down, puts his head in his hands. I screwed up, Dad. Everything. The wedding, Jessica, the money. All of it. Yes, you did. I thought I knew better. Thought I could handle everything myself. Thought I didn't need you. And now I'm sitting here, waiting to find out if my wife and child are going to be okay, and I'm terrified. He looks up. I'm sorry for all of it. I sit down next to him. Sorry doesn't fix things. I know, but it's a start. We wait together. Minutes crawl past. An hour. 2. A doctor finally comes out. Mr. Patterson? David stands. That's me. Your wife's fine. The baby's in NICU. 3 pounds, 6 ounces. Premature but stable. Can I see them? Your wife's asking for you. David looks at me. Come with me. That's not appropriate. Please. We walk down the hall together. Room 312. Jessica's in bed, pale and exhausted. When she sees me, tears start running down her face. I'm sorry, she whispers. I'm so sorry. For everything. I don't say it's okay, because it's not. Don't say I forgive you, because I'm not sure I do. What I say is, how's the baby? Small, scared, perfect. The nurse leads us to NICU. Through the glass, I see her, my granddaughter, tiny and fragile, connected to tubes and wires, fighting to breathe. She's a fighter, the nurse says. Like her grandfather, David says quietly. We stand there, the 3 of us, watching this little person struggle to survive. Something shifts inside me. Not forgiveness, not yet. But something close to it. Understanding, maybe. The realization that holding grudges is exhausting, that revenge is hollow, that at the end of everything we're all just people trying to do our best and usually failing. I'm tired, I say finally. Dad. Not now, not tonight. Tonight's about her. I look at the baby. What's her name? We haven't decided yet. Decide soon. She needs to know who she is. I leave the hospital around 4 a.m., drive home through empty streets. The city looks different at this hour. Cleaner, quieter, full of possibility. My apartment's dark when I arrive. I don't turn on lights, just sit in the living room, watching dawn break through the windows. My phone buzzes. Text from Emma. Ryan's okay. They're releasing him tomorrow. Thank you for coming. I love you. Another text. This one from David. They're calling her Grace. Grace Patterson. Seemed appropriate. I sit with these messages for a long time. Morning comes cold and bright. I make coffee, shower, dress, go through the motions of a normal day even though nothing feels normal. Frank calls around 9. Heard about the baby. Congratulations. Thanks. This change anything? That depends. On what? On whether they've learned anything. From where I'm sitting, they've learned you're not a pushover. Question is, have they learned why that matters? We'll see. I spend the day organizing documents, tax returns, bank statements, investment portfolios, everything that proves I'm competent, independent, in control of my faculties. The APS complaint will close, but I want no doubt. Thomas calls in the afternoon. Ryan's out of the hospital, checking into outpatient treatment, gambling addiction program. That's good. Is it, or is it too late? It's never too late to try. Succeeding, that's different. Cynical. Realistic. Emma comes by around 6. She knocks quietly, like she's not sure she's welcome. Come in, I call. She looks better than yesterday. Still tired, still scared, but more composed. How's Ryan? Scared, embarrassed, committed to getting help. She sits on the couch. Dad, I need to tell you something. Okay. I knew Ryan had a gambling problem. Before we got married, he told me he'd stopped, that he had it under control. I believed him because I wanted to believe him. That's not uncommon. But it was stupid. And then when things got worse, I was too ashamed to tell you. Too ashamed to admit I'd made a mistake. She wipes her eyes. The wedding, keeping it secret, that was Ryan's idea. He said you'd judge him, that you'd try to stop us. I thought if I just went along with it, everything would work out. It didn't. No, it really didn't. Emma, I can't fix this for you. I know. You have to decide what you want. Stay with Ryan, try to make it work. Leave him, start over. Whatever you choose, it's your choice. But I can't make it for you. What would you do? I'm not you. I had a different marriage, different problems. Your mother and I, we worked through things because we both wanted to, but we also both put in the effort. She nods slowly. I think I want to try, with Ryan, but only if he really commits to treatment. Then that's your answer. Will you help us? I take a breath. Define help. Just be here. Be my dad. I don't need money. I don't need favors. I just need to know you're not gone. I'm not gone, but I'm not a doormat either. You hurt me, Emma, badly. Trust takes time to rebuild. I know, I'll do whatever it takes. Then start by being honest. With me, with Ryan, with yourself. No more secrets, no more hiding. If you're struggling, tell me. If Ryan relapses, tell me. If you need help, ask for it. But don't lie. I won't, I promise. She leaves around 8. I sit in the quiet apartment, processing. My phone rings. David. Dad, can you come to the hospital tomorrow? Jessica wants to apologize, properly. I'll think about it. Please. She's not asking for anything, just a chance to apologize. I'll think about it, I repeat and hang up. I go to bed early. Dream about babies in hospital beds, about weddings I wasn't invited to, about my ex-wife telling me to be patient, be kind, be better than my anger. I wake up around 3 a.m., mind racing. Get up, make tea, sit by the window. The city's asleep. Even the traffic lights are flashing yellow, signaling caution in the darkness. I think about Grace, about Emma, about David and Jessica, about all the ways families break and maybe, possibly, sometimes heal. Around dawn, I make a decision. I show up at the hospital at 10. David's in the waiting area outside NICU, looking like he hasn't slept in days. "Thanks for coming," he says. "Where's Jessica?" "With Grace. They're doing tests." We wait. 20 minutes later, Jessica appears. She's in a wheelchair, still recovering. When she sees me, she starts crying. "Mr. Patterson, I'm so sorry. What I did at the wedding, what I said, it was inexcusable." "Yes, it was. I was stressed and angry and I took it out on you. That's not okay. Nothing makes it okay." I look at her, really look at her. She's young, probably 29, scared, hurt, trying to figure out how to be a mother when she barely knows how to be an adult. "Jessica, I'm not interested in your apology." She flinches. "I'm interested in your actions. What you do next, how you treat David, how you treat your daughter, whether you learn from this or just repeat the same patterns." "I want to learn. I want to be better." "Then be better. Don't tell me you're sorry. Show me you're different." David wheels her back to her room. I stay behind, walk to NICU. Grace is in her incubator, tiny and perfect and fighting. A nurse approaches. "You're the grandfather?" "Yes." "She's doing well. Strong vitals. She'll probably be here another month, but the prognosis is good." "Can I touch her?" "Through the porthole. Wash your hands first." I scrub my hands until they're raw. Then I reach through the small opening, touch her impossibly small hand with my finger. She grips it. Just reflex, probably, but it feels like more. "Hey there, Grace," I whisper. "Welcome to the complicated family." I stay for an hour, just watching her breathe, watching the monitors, watching this new life that changes everything. David finds me eventually. "Dad, Jessica's parents are here. They want to talk to you." "About what?" "About the APS complaint. About dropping it." I follow him to Jessica's room. Her parents are there, both lawyers, both looking uncomfortable. Jessica's father extends his hand. "William Patterson, I owe you an apology." I don't take his hand. "For?" "For the complaint, for believing our daughter without getting the full story, for making assumptions. Assumptions are easy, truth is harder." He lowers his hand. "We're withdrawing the complaint, and we're establishing boundaries with David and Jessica. They need to learn financial responsibility." "That would be wise." Jessica's mother speaks up. "We want to make this right with you. Tell us how." "You can't make it right, but you cannot make it worse. Stop enabling them. Stop covering their bills. Let them struggle. It's the only way they'll grow." The parents exchange looks. "That's harsh." "That's reality. Your daughter assaulted me. Your son-in-law is drowning in debt. The baby's in NICU. None of this gets better by pretending it's fine." "What would you suggest?" "I'd suggest you require them to attend financial counseling before you give them another dollar. I'd suggest you make David get a job, any job. I'd suggest you stop treating them like children and start expecting them to be adults." Silence. Finally, William nods. "You're right. We'll do that." "Good." I leave the room. David catches up in the hallway. "Dad, wait." "What?" "Are we okay? I mean, eventually." I stop walking. "Eventually, maybe. Right now. We're at the beginning. You need to prove you've changed. You need to show me you understand what you did wrong." "I do understand." "Then show me. Get a job. Take care of your family. Be honest. Do that for 6 months, a year, and we'll talk." "A year?" "Trust takes time to rebuild, David. You broke it in one night. It's going to take more than apologies to fix it." He nods slowly. Okay, I can do that. We'll see. I head for the elevators. Behind me, I hear David call out, "Dad, thank you, for coming, for being here." I don't turn around, just raise my hand in acknowledgement and keep walking. 2 weeks later, I'm back in the coffee shop where I met Thomas. He slides another folder across the table. This is everything. Ryan's treatment records, David's job applications, Emma's therapy sessions, all the proof you wanted that they're trying. I flip through the documents. Ryan's attending GA meetings 3 times a week. David's working at a marketing firm, entry-level position, actually showing up on time. Emma's in couples counseling, being honest about problems. "What do you think?" Thomas asks. "I think they're scared. Question is whether they stay scared or actually change." "You're still not giving them anything?" "Not yet. Let them prove they mean it." "You're a hard man." "I'm a realistic man. I learned the hard way that words are cheap. Actions matter." Thomas leans back. "For what it's worth, I think they're getting it. David called his mother-in-law last week, told her they don't need money anymore. Emma paid her own rent for the first time in 6 months. They're learning. Good. So what now? Now we wait. 6 months. A year. However long it takes for me to believe this is real." Thomas gathers the folders. "You know, most people would have cut them off completely by now. You're still watching, still hoping. I'm their father. Hoping's part of the job. Even after everything. Especially after everything." I leave the coffee shop and drive to Memorial Hospital. Grace is out of NICU now in a regular nursery. She's gained weight, breathing on her own, almost ready to go home. David's there, holding her. He looks up when I enter. "Hey, Dad." "Hey. Want to hold her?" He hands me the baby. She's still small but stronger. She opens her eyes, looks at me with that unfocused newborn stare. "She looks like your mother," I say quietly. "Yeah, Jessica's mother said the same thing." We sit in comfortable silence, the kind of silence that used to exist before everything fell apart. "Dad, I got a promotion." "Already?" "Small one. They're moving me to the accounts team. Better hours, little more money." "That's good." Jessica's parents agreed to watch Grace while Jess recovers. We're trying to figure out daycare for when she goes back to work. "What about the debt?" "Paying it down, slowly. We cut up the credit cards, cancelled the BMW lease. We're driving a used Honda now. Smart. It's humbling, but necessary." I hand Grace back to him. "Keep doing this. Keep being responsible. Keep being honest." "I will. I'm not ready to forgive yet. I know. But I'm willing to watch, to see if this sticks. That's more than I deserve. Probably." I leave the hospital feeling lighter. Not happy, not satisfied, but lighter, like I've been carrying something heavy and finally set it down. 3 months later, Christmas. Emma invites me to dinner at her apartment. Ryan's there, sober, employed, still attending meetings. They're making it work. Barely, but work nonetheless. David and Jessica bring Grace. She's 4 months old now, chubby and healthy and loud. Jessica's back at work part-time. David's still at the marketing firm, talking about projects like they matter. We eat dinner, Chinese takeout because nobody's pretending to be fancy. The conversation's careful, polite, everyone watching what they say. After dinner, David pulls out his laptop. "Dad, I want to show you something. It's a financial spreadsheet, income, expenses, debt reduction plan. Everything organized, tracked, realistic. We're on track to be debt-free in 2 years," he says. "No help from Jessica's parents, no loans, just us, working and saving." That's impressive. It's exhausting, but it's ours. Emma shows me her own spreadsheet. She and Ryan are doing the same thing. Cutting expenses, paying down debt, building a foundation. "We're moving to a smaller apartment," she says. "Cheaper rent, shorter commute for Ryan." How's the treatment going? Hard. He relapsed once. Told me immediately. We dealt with it together. That's what matters. After everyone leaves, I sit in my apartment. It's quiet. Decorated now. Lived in. This is home. My phone buzzes. Text from David. Thanks for coming tonight. It meant a lot. Another text from Emma. Love you, Dad. I don't respond immediately. Just sit with the messages, with the feelings they bring up. Eventually, I type back to both. Progress is good. Keep going. That's all. No declarations of forgiveness. No promises of restoration. Just acknowledgement that they're trying. And that's enough for now. 6 months after Christmas. June. I'm at the park, watching David push Grace on a baby swing. She's giggling, that pure baby laugh that makes everything else disappear. Jessica's on a bench nearby reading. They look normal. Happy even. Emma and Ryan appear, carrying a picnic basket. Ryan's gained healthy weight, lost the haunted look. Emma's smiling genuinely. We spread blankets, eat sandwiches, watch Grace discover grass for the first time. Dad, David says, I need to tell you something. Here it comes. The request, the ask. The moment where they reveal this was all a performance. I got offered a job in Seattle. Better position, good money, chance to really advance. Take it, I say immediately. He blinks. Just like that. You've proven you can handle responsibility. You've shown me you've changed. If Seattle's the next step, take it. But that means we won't see you as much. Seattle has planes, and phones, and video calls. Distance isn't the problem anymore. Trust is. And you've earned some of that back. Jessica starts crying. Thank you for not giving up on us. I'm your father-in-law. Giving up isn't an option. Emma leans against my shoulder. What about you, Dad? What's next for you? I'm thinking about consulting work, maybe teaching. I've got experience worth sharing. That sounds perfect. Ryan speaks up, his voice quiet. Mr. Patterson, I know I cost you a lot. The stress, the worry, the problems. I'm not asking for forgiveness, but I want you to know I'm committed to being better. For Emma. For your family. Then be better. Not for me. For yourself. That's the only way it sticks. We sit there as the sun sets. Grace falls asleep on David's chest. Jessica dozes on the blanket. Emma and Ryan hold hands, quiet and content. This isn't a happy ending. There's no dramatic reconciliation. No tearful moment where everything's forgiven. We're still broken in places. Still learning how to be a family again. But we're trying. That's more than we had a year ago. I look at my children, at my granddaughter, at the son-in-law who's still fighting his demons. They're not perfect. Neither am I. But we're here. Together. Trying. And sometimes, that's enough. As we pack up to leave, David stops me. Dad, I've been wanting to say this for months. Say what? I'm proud to be your son, even after everything, especially after everything. You taught me that actions have consequences, that respect has to be earned, that family isn't about obligations, it's about choice. You chose to keep watching, keep hoping, keep believing we could be better. That's the hardest thing anyone's ever done for me. I don't trust myself to speak. Just nod. So thank you, David continues, for not making it easy, for forcing us to grow up, for being exactly the father we needed, even when we didn't want to hear it. We pack up, drive away in separate cars, back to separate lives, but connected, finally, genuinely connected, not because of money or obligation or guilt, but because we chose it. That night, I sit in my apartment, pour myself a scotch, look out at the city lights, my phone's full of messages, photos from today. Grace laughing, Emma smiling, David looking like a man instead of a boy. I respond to each one, short messages, nothing flowery. Good day. Love you too. Safe travels to Seattle. simple words, but behind them, years of hurt and healing, of broken trust slowly mending, of a family that fell apart, learning how to rebuild. I think about the father I was a year ago, angry, hurt, plotting revenge. I think about the satisfaction I got from watching them struggle. And I think about the father I am now, still hurt, still careful, but willing to hope. That's growth, not perfect, not complete, but real. Outside, the city continues its endless rhythm. People living, struggling, failing, succeeding. All of us trying to figure out how to be better than we were yesterday. I raise my glass to the window, to my children, to my granddaughter, to the messy, complicated, beautiful disaster of family. Here's to trying, I say to the empty room, and I mean it.